So, I would believe that the Fed should be looking at the data. Look, the one thing we're not going to do is tell the American people they don't know what they're feeling. Things could, we don't know where things are.
I have a few clips for us to look at of Scott Bessent on Fox News, as MAGA truly is not sending their best to defend this failed economy. So if you can, leave us a like on the video. It helps us out a ton. We really want to get to 30,000 subscribers, and let's get right to the breakdown.
We know that under the Schumer shutdown that the economy got worse. So, I would believe that the Fed should be looking at the data and thinking things could, we don't know where things are. We've been cutting, and we should finish the cutting cycle or keep going with the cutting cycle.
I mean, there's so much wrong with this. It's genuinely a terrible talking point. They need to stop letting Scott Bessent try this. Even if we take him at first value. So let's just say, okay, what you said is true. The economy got worse under the shutdown. Isn't that an argument for the need for bigger government, for government at the scope and size it's at? Kind of weird that you're the party of small government then, because wouldn't that imply that your very goal of shrinking the government of usefulness would then harm our economy, since now we're seeing it being shut down harmed our economy? There's then, of course, the fact that everyone knows it was a Republican shutdown. All polling shows this as well. Democrats put forth more CRs than Republicans did as the minority party. Republicans never once changed their bill to try to court votes. They never even tried to negotiate to court votes. And last, it's clearly just a scapegoat. The economy was objectively doing bad before the shutdown, and it's objectively doing bad after the shutdown. It's almost as if Trump is the problem and not the shutdown that MAGA caused.
The peace deals, we are seeing a peace dividend from that, and I think there's a very, very good chance that if something happens with Russia, Ukraine, if something happens down in Venezuela, that we could really see oil prices go down even more, and oil and gasoline prices are down substantially under President Trump, and that is really the key to affordability, is lower energy.
Yeah, and the follow-up should be, okay, well, what has Trump done to cause this? Because he's not signed a single policy towards oil or energy with a positive effect. We are experiencing this because Biden made us more energy independent than we've ever been, and he broke our reliance on OPEC as well. These things go into oil and energy prices about as much as a president can actually affect them, which is honestly very little, which is why when you hear an administration focusing on only these things, it's probably because they're doing pretty bad at managing actual prices or costs. Remember in the thick of the pandemic, right? When inflation was skyrocketing, gas was cheaper than it's ever been. This is just to say, there's no actual economic correlation between gas prices and the economy at large. You can have bad economy, low prices. You can have good economy, high gas prices. Some slight effects from gas and energy prices can be seen in food, because of what's needed to grow and produce them, construction for transporting the products or whatever, but it's not anything to scoff at.
We are going to see these trade deals turn into jobs. And look, the one thing we're not going to do is tell the American people they don't know what they're feeling like the Biden people did. They said it was a vibe session. You don't realize how good you are. Shut up, move along. And we believe that the policies are right for the country, and that we will see a substantial non-inflationary acceleration.
Yeah, guys, they won't tell people how they feel. They'll just absolutely lie to them. They're saying Thanksgiving costs are cheaper, and they aren't. That's just untrue. Trump is saying the economy is stronger than ever, and it isn't. That just isn't true. Every indication is of a slowing, weak economy. Abysmal job numbers, underperforming last year's GDP projections, rising inflation, dropping consumer confidence and spending, rising unemployment. I mean, they're saying that tariffs will eventually bring in a gain after all of this pain. That's a lie. There's no economic theory to support the idea that there's a magic tariff switch that'll flip after X amount of bad days. He just said the trade deals will bring jobs. That's a lie. There are no trade deals. They promised 90 in 90 days. They signed, I think, 3 tentative deals. None of them are actual. And then China dog walked us in the rare earth minerals. I mean, it's just lie after lie from them. And if you get caught out on the spot where you just go, Joe Biden and the Democrats, it's the same old recycled MAGA playbook. But at least they're not telling people how they feel.